Hashtag Marc Stuart Medium is hashtag the Scottish Medium. Forward and give evidence and messages. And please, we'll do this at the end, but make sure that by the end of tonight, we have collected some healing energy that we can distribute to someone that needs it for healing. Thank you. Amen. Okay, you're back, Taz. Great. Okay, so everybody wants to relax and take a deep, close your eyes, tune into my voice, take a deep breath, hold it to the count of 3, and once you've counted to 3, exhale. Take a deep breath in again. Now this time I want you to clear out the entire day's activities, the entire distraction, feelings, irritation, and as you exhale, just get rid of it. Find a nice big filing cabinet called the bin and file away your day's activities. And finally, take your third final deep breath. And that last little twitch in your finger or your toe, that last symbolism, that last thought, that last distraction, just clear your mind out. And open your eyes up just for a second. Now relax again. Close your eyes and listen to my voice. I want you to picture yourself in the roots of a tree. It's a big tree, it's an old tree. And the roots are so far underground that as you move up the roots, it's going to take a few seconds. The roots start really thin, like string, getting thicker and thicker. Eventually, they're like ropes. And eventually, they merge into the trunk of the tree. Now, work your way up the trunk. It's an oak tree. And I said it was an old tree. It's been standing for centuries. Hurricanes come, and this tree doesn't even move a millimeter. Move up the trunk. Thick trunk with rings and rings and rings inside it. Look at them all as you move up. And finally, you come to the branches. Select the thickest branch. Move into the branch. Move down the branch. Now the branch begins to thin. And as it thins, it splits. Choose one and move down it. It splits again and again and again. And finally, like at the end of an arm, you're in the twigs. Finger-like twigs, shaped like a hand. Choose the longest twig. Move yourself into that twig. And as you move into that twig, it gets thinner. Move up it. And at the end of that twig, there's an autumn brown leaf, all curled up, ready to fall off the tree. And it's totally brown, golden. And as you move your life energy into it, it begins to unravel. It begins to open up. It's the reverse of what happens to a leaf. And as it opens up, it turns from the golden brown into the bright summer shades of light green. And when it's fully open, totally open to the sun, you are now open. So open up your eyes. Come back to reality of the spiritual world. Now, we're going to do a guided meditation. So again, I want you to make yourself comfortable. Feel the contours of your chair, close your eyes, and listen to my voice. Now, I want you to feel your body in your mind. I want you to be aware of every bit of your body. Your legs, your hands, your arms, your feet, your head. Every bit of skin. Every bit of your body that if you were standing naked in front of a mirror, you would look at and you would be aware of. Just be aware of it. Now, I want you to imagine it just fading away. Your body is nothing. Your body is just a husk that you, the real you, inhabits. And as your body disappears, look at the real you. It's still in the same body shape, but your energy. and you're glistening with energy. You're glowing outwards. I could put my hand through you, and although it would pass through you, I would still feel you. Your energy. You're so much power. It's unbelievable. Still in the shape of you, still recognizable as you, but total spiritual energy. What people call the psychic you is really the spiritual you. Now stand up, metaphorically, walk away from the chair, close your eyes, and just think of where we're going. And we're going so far away, we'll be there in a second. So just think of Scotland. Just think of the one little city called Stirling. And open up your eyes again in your spiritual being, not for real, just your spiritual you. And see that you're now standing on the foot of a hill in Stirling, looking up a hill. It's an old city, and there's buildings on either side. Walk up the hill, and as you walk up the hill, you're coming to Stirling Castle. And it's an old castle, and it's a big castle. Probably the only castle that's bigger than it and more famous than it is Edinburgh Castle. Walk in through the gates, walk around. There are hundreds of tourists, maybe thousands, all paid money to come into this castle, and you're just walking in. And then spiritual beings start walking towards you. There's William Wallace, there's Robert Burns. Ancient history, ancient beings from Scottish history. They've all come to meet you. And they're going to have a party with you. But they say, not here. So you close your eyes again, and you picture where all of you, there's hundreds of you now going, and you open up your spiritual eyes again, and you find yourself in the city centre of Edinburgh, what you could call downtown Edinburgh. Except downtown Edinburgh is not quite what you would expect it to be. It's actually an extinct volcano. And it's one of the biggest mountains in Scotland. And the city of Edinburgh is actually built around it. And you're standing on what's called Arthur Seat, and have a look round. Doesn't matter what direction you look in, Edinburgh City is built around this park, and in the centre of this park, there's this, as I said, extinct volcano, this massive rock. And look around at the top, all hundreds of spirits have come, and they're opening up their collection, their hampers, their baskets, the food's coming out. And although you're spiritual, you can still eat spiritual food. And they start the fires up. How else are we going to cook the haggises? So very quickly, they've produced a huge range of food. Lots of different choices for you. You've got a choice of haggis, mashed potatoes, and turnips, the traditional Scottish meal. And they hand you a plate of it. And if you've never had a haggis, I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's absolutely delicious. And then they hand you a glass. And in that glass, there's just first national drink, and that's Scotch whisky. So I take a good sip. And then somebody says, if you don't like that, don't worry. They hand you the second glass, and it's the Scottish second national drink, and it's called Iron Brew. And it's a soft, sort of fizzly drink. Unfortunately, now owned by Coca-Cola, but it's the best-selling drink in Scotland, even in front of Scotch whisky. And the party continues, and people come up and talk to you and dance with you. There's bagpipes. There's fireworks all of a sudden. And then everybody starts to quieten down. And one of the people comes up to you. He's an old Scottish hermit that's come to join the party. And he says, come with me. And he takes you to, there's a very famous old building halfway up Arthur Seat. It's not a church, it's an old, we don't really know what it is. It might be a half church, but it's just a wreck of a building. And he takes you to it. And there isn't a door in it, but there is now. And he opens the door for you and says, in you go. Now, when you go through that door, you find yourself in a room. It's a room of your memory. It could be from your childhood. It could be a room that you're familiar with now. It's basically a room that you feel safe in. Have a look at it, recognize it, and there's two chairs in the center. The first chair is empty, that's waiting for you, and the other chair has one of your loved ones, somebody that you recognize that knew you were coming, that's waiting for you. And they stand up, they come toward you, embrace each other, whatever's appropriate for that person, cuddle, kiss, shake hands. I don't know who's waiting for you. I don't know their relationship to you. But they take you by the arm. They're so glad that you finally got here. How the hell did you manage to eat that haggis? I'm really proud of you, he says, or she says. And they take you over to the two chairs, sit down together. I'm going to leave you for the next 3 odd minutes. This is your time with your loved one. Listen to what they've got to say. Tell them what you've got to say. Just catch up with them. And as I said, I will come back in approximately 3 minutes. Okay, now listen to my voice again. The time with your loved one is coming to an end, so exchange any final words. Pay attention to any final things that they're saying to you. Stand up together. Let them guide you to the door. They'll come behind you. Walk through the door. Don't look back. They know it's your time to leave, and they've already left. The Scottish Hermit's waiting for you. My God, what an ugly man he is. As a spiritual being, you'd think he would pretty himself up, but no, he's got a character to lead, and he wants you to know who he is. Takes you by the hand, takes you back out of the building, takes you back up to the top. All the Scottish ghosts are still waiting for you. Stand together, close your eyes, zap. You're not at Stirling Castle now. Since you went to Arthurstead, he's taking you to Camelot, another castle from Scottish legend. Open up your eyes, and there's Arthur. There's the knights, nothing like the legend. They look really grubby, actually, but they're spiritual beings as well. And there's Merlin, and he comes over to say hello, introduces himself, takes you around the court, introduces Guinevere, introduces Sir Lancelot, and you just look at them, you know what's going on, and you wonder if King Arthur does. And you get introduced to King Arthur, so curtsy, and he takes out his sword, and he knights you, makes you a lady of Camelot. Now it's time to go home, so stand back. The Scottish Hermit's still with you. All the other ghosts are waving goodbye. Close your eyes and just think yourself back to your chair. Find yourself sitting back in your chair. Now your body begins to reappear and reanimate around you. And you begin to lose being able to distinguish between spiritual you and physical you. You come back into one being again. And you're now totally solid, back in your chair. When you're ready, open up your eyes. There we go. So, if everybody wants to relax, close your eyes. Excuse me. And picture yourself coming into the green open leaf, and as you move into the leaf, it starts to curl up, dry up, and turn a golden autumn brown. Move into the twig, up the twig into the branch, move all the way, the branch is getting thicker until you're in the trunk of the tree. Move down the trunk, down the thick trunk, into the roots, down into the roots of the tree, all the way down, deep down. You're now in Mother Gaia Earth, and as you look up, you see the roots of the grass above you, and you are now firmly closed. So join me in a closing prayer. Dear Father, Mother, Spirit, thank you very much for all the wonderful messages we had tonight. Thank you for all the wonderful learning opportunities that we all had, including myself. Please take the energy that we have generated tonight and stored up, as we asked you at the beginning, send half of it to Michelle's family and send half of it out into the world to find somebody. And if there's anybody here that has anybody that they know that needs some of that healing energy, say their name to yourself and draw in some of that energy to send them. Thank you. Amen.